Hello, family. Thank you for coming over to the house tonight. And just kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Party on down to the SK beat. We're kicking, just kicking, just kicking. Okay, you don't come to another episode where we're going to be asking the question of, why you telling my business? Don't be telling my business. Why not? Because a can and a can, a can, and a wheel. Now we're off to... Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming back to the channel, Deb Chanel's 48th World and my house, where we congregate together and we talk shit and we listen to everybody's opinion, and then everybody gets to make their own judgment on said topic, okay? Or how they really felt, what they saw on their screen. We're going to be talking about Joseline Hernandez and Amber Rose getting kicked out of college, okay? Most people like to say expelled, but either way, they mean the same thing, okay? They didn't show us the fight. No, they didn't, but I do know Amber was the first person to start the fight, and she should have been the first person expelled. Now, I feel like Jocelyn was defending herself, but everybody in some ways believed Jocelyn was a bully. And I'm like, okay, we had bullies when we were in elementary. Okay, we did. We probably had them in preschool, meaning pre-K, but we just called it just bad behavior. They just growing and trying to get new to a new environment and this, that, and the third, okay? But there have always been bullies from the beginning of time. All right, so I don't really understand our take on, oh, you get expelled because you was the bullier or you bulled people. I mean, you're going to get bullied when you grown as hell. You're going to have people trying to tell you something that you don't even want to listen to, and you just wish they stopped talking to you, because it's going to be an assault charge. It's going to be an assault charge. But the conversation I'm trying to have is, make sure you go over to my other channel, Make It Make Sense. Please subscribe. Please, please, please. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I need your help. And you're already on Deb Chanel's 48th World. And if you just up in him, peeping around, before you leave, hit that subscribe button, because I know you're going to be back. I know you're going to be back. Okay? But let's get on into this College Hill suspension mess. Okay? And I really think they should have took more in account for the grades that the girls were getting. Because, I mean, it just is what it is. People are going to fight. And whether they bring weapons into the situation, that's a different whole thing. But when you're still in your 19, 20s, 21s, 22, you still wet behind the ears. You're trying to embrace adulthood, but you don't want to let your childhood go. Okay? It's just that simple. But I guess you say, but Dale, these are two grown women and they don't have children. That is true. That is true. But you tell me who gonna hit you and you ain't gonna defend yourself and hit them back. Okay? I'm just saying. But anyway, let's go and see what Baller Alert had brought out for us, because they are the ones I'm getting the commentary from. Let me see, who did anybody write this? Okay, Gibson Precious wrote the article, and she titled it, "Both Amber Rose and Joseline Hernandez were expelled from ASU after classroom fight." It looks like things on College Hill didn't end well for Amber Rose and Jocelyn Hernandez, who were both given the boot after the classroom fight. Okay? If you recall, BT tooted the fight between Rose and Hernandez before and throughout the new season of College Hill Celebrity Edition. While the fight was ultimately not shown, what led to it was both women were in the middle of a heated discussion about race before Rose got up from her seat and presumably hit Hernandez before the classroom went dark. Now, ain't no presumable. You either got hit by Jocelyn or you didn't get hit by Jocelyn. I'm sure it was people there to could testify that the first hit was from Amber Rose, okay? She lunged at her. She gave her a sucker punch. And therefore, Jocelyn had every right to land her hits too. She had every right to let that girl get them hands, okay? I'm just saying, if I was the one. Afterwards, the remaining class was seen in awe of what had transpired. BET and Alabama Southern University made a joint decision not to air the physical altercation. I said, hell, you air everything else. You air everything else. Okay? Just long as wasn't nobody holding no gun or what you call it, bow and arrow arch thing. You know what they use in archery, that bow and arrow or the arrow, knives, anything like that. We don't want to see that. No, no, because you get to live another day when you just fist fight. Okay, but anyway, they said Jocelyn had that girl head pinned to the window. I was like, oh my goodness, woo! But anyway, on the most recent episode of College Shield, ASU, staff is seen speaking with both women about what transpired between them. Rose claims Hernandez bullied her about her race, which is something the model says she has faced her entire life. But if you have faced it your entire life, Amber, you should have been getting used to it, okay? You should be used to the drama and don't be playing into somebody verbally, talking to you, okay? Just throw the hands up. See, talk to the hand. Talk to the hand. Talk to the hand, okay? As long as you don't hit me, I don't care what you say. Because we got to set the example for the kids, the younger kids that are in college, and her kids as well. That was just my point, not in this article. Going back to the article, it says, according to her, once she went to leave the class, she blacked out. And that is when she hit the Love and Hip Hop alarm. When staff spoke with Hernandez, she was teary-eyed as she described having a debate with the class that turned ugly when she began to press Rose about her blackness. Now, Ambrose, stop lying. You ain't went black. You didn't go black. You didn't black out. You didn't black it and black out, okay? You just got tired of Jocelyn's mouth and trying to tell you something, which I'm like, damn, what you talking about? Something she don't identify with this, that, and the third. I'm like, what? When you go check any medical box or any other identification box, it states, are you black? Are you African American? Are you other? Are you Hispanic? You telling they making you tell what you are. So why wasn't it Jocelyn's point of view telling you who she thought you was? Okay. They do it to us every day. We have to sit there and tell somebody who we are. And sometimes we don't want to tell them, but we have to complete that application. We have to complete that form before we can get to phase two. You see what I'm saying? So I didn't quite understand where you were going with that. Talking about Jocelyn was categorizing you, and that's not something for her to do, and something that she's not gonna do. But when you go try to get hired for a job, and you have to fill out an application, they ask you these said questions, okay? When you go into the medical field and getting an exam or whatnot for the first time, they ask you to fill out that form. Those same questions are on the form. So if you feel intimidated by Jocelyn, you should be intimidated with life, because that box is always going to be there, even when you vote, child. They want their demographics filled out. What are you? But I don't see you having a what do you call it? A protest at that, a protest on that. No, you didn't. So shut up. I don't want to hear what else you got to say, dumbass. But anyway, we go back and says, it seems to me you're not happy that you're black. Hernandez recalled telling Rose. She also stated that Rose broke 3 of her nails in the attack. Hernandez told the staff she is also frequently slammed for her ethnicity, which is why she couldn't understand how she was being expelled for questioning Rose about hers. Ultimately, the school decided that while Rose initiated the fight, Hernandez provoked it, leaving to both of them being expelled. Do you think the lady should have been given a second chance? Of course, of course, of course. Okay, and it would have been a learning lesson for the real kids that are in there trying to get their degree. Okay, it would have been a lesson that you can't always put your hands on folks. Okay, they should use that as a PSA type situation. Like, what was before you get to getting angry? What transpired in the conversation that got you mostly ticked off? You know what I'm saying? Because they are celebrities. I don't know if they actually get a degree or do they get an honorary degree for going there, because they don't spend that much time to call themselves getting jacked. It seems like they spent maybe one semester. What in the hell, not even a semester. Because it might have been one semester. See, I get confused with the semesters and quarters and all of that different things. Been out of school for a very long time. But anyway, it just is what it is, okay? My point was, it should have been a teaching lesson. And they could have reacted the situation as well for somebody to film it and actually teach it in class on what to do when you get put in a certain situation of somebody verbally abusing you. You see what I'm saying? They could have made that a whole teaching uh, lesson that was videotaped for people to watch on how a person got bullied about their ethnicity, or they were forced to listen to somebody tell them about their ethnicity or what they consider themselves uh, as in the world at large. Okay, but I was like, and then I didn't like Amber sucker punching Jocelyn. Why don't y'all square up that way? You know what I'm saying? But now she knew she couldn't beat Jocelyn, 'cause I think Jocelyn kind of towered over her just a little bit. And Joyce was a little more heavier than Amber. So she had to try, because she went out of that class one time, they say. And then, just to excuse herself because she was just sick of Joyce and all this. And then the second time, she talking about she went black. No, no, you just didn't want to look bad on TV like you was a sucker and didn't basically check Jocelyn. That's what that's what you really was upset about. Because that's where my perspective came out the woodworks, that I'm like, girl, you sucker punch her. You ain't really fight her. Then you probably got your butt beat too. But colleges, as well as jobs, have to have some type of PSA or some type of learning material on what not to do and what to do when you're getting bullied. Okay? Because people get bullied on jobs as well. And, in a normal world, well, in the world that we live in now, if you put your hands on anybody, I don't care if you soft touch them, it could be an assault charge. You could actually go to jail, because I don't think the police officer is going to say, "Did you touch her?" at all. I don't care if it was, soft touch or hard touch or whatever. Did you go into her private space and touch her? And it was an unwanted touch. And that's how you're going to have to say no, but then other people going to say yes, and then your ass going to jail. Such a thing. I mean, some things you don't need to be locked up for. That's what I'm saying. If you got your ass kicked because of, something like what Jocelyn did, but you didn't die from it, I don't think you need to go to jail for that, because we got too many folks in jail for that particular shit now, and that's why the jails are overrun. They got too many participants in now, which they need to be getting them out, because, and not strictly because, some of them don't need to be there in the first damn place. Now, that's just my thoughts on the whole situation. That's my thoughts. But like I said, Amber had sucker punch too, and there was no reason for her to sucker punch Jocelyn, other than she being scared of Jocelyn. Cause girl, I would let Jocelyn run her mouth, because you ain't getting physically attacked by Jocelyn. So let her talk all she want, and let the professor deal with Jocelyn. Because Jocelyn was saying, "Nah, professor, nah, professor, I gotta say this." Now, Jocelyn would have said that in her 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years of living? Probably not. She probably would have been scared of the professor. But the professor, to me, was already like, she had lost her class anyway, in the midst of a fight brewing and a fight being issued or being taking place. She didn't know how to control the class from the get-go. I'm like, girl, this is celebrity edition. You may be in awe of them and how much money they make, and you don't make that kind of money teaching college students. Girl, I was like, because I would have said, okay, somebody going to the principal office. That's all I said. And I would have stepped in between both of them and said, okay, if you hit me, I'm going to sue both y'all asses, because I know y'all got some money uh, tied up somewhere where I can live the rest of my life off y'all and y'all stupidity. I bet they asses would have set themselves down then, because you ain't finna pay nobody on no assault charge. But I think even College Hill has what do you call it? A clause in their contract that just because they get to fight, they can't sue nobody. But those are my thoughts alone. I ain't got no more for y'all, and I will see y'all on the next video. Bye bye.